What's up, y'all? Today I want to talk about how to properly calculate your maintenance calories, something that a lot of people struggle with. And it might seem kind of like, oh, well, just go online and punching your stuff, right? But it's a little bit more tricky than that. That takes care of, let's say, 70 to 80% of it. But there's a little bit more nuance to it. So when you punch in your information on one of these calculators, my favorite personally, which one that I believe is the most accurate, is the Eric Helms ripped macro calculator. I believe Eric Helms is like he's one of these fitness guys, one of these online fitness guys, and he has his own calculator. I should probably come out with my own pretty soon, right? But instead of promoting his, I should be promoting Randall Brand's calculator, right? But Eric Helms ripped macro calculator, I believe. Basically, what you would do is you punch in your height, your weight, your activity level, your body fat percentage if you have a good estimation on it, and it'll give you an estimated calorie amount for what it would take to maintain your weight. If you're looking to lose some body fat, it might give you, let's say, 200-300 below that maintenance. If you're looking to gain a little bit of muscle, a little bit of size, it might give you 200-300 above that maintenance. But the thing about calculating your maintenance is these are just estimations. So the best way to really calculate your maintenance is to use the Eric Helms calculator, eat that number, right? Track your weight. Weigh yourself on a fasted, empty stomach every morning before you drink water, after you use the restroom, if you have to go, before you eat, naked, right? And make sure that you're tracking with the same measurables every single day. So don't track one day with clothes, one day after drinking water. Like, just keep it the same in the morning, right? Fasted morning physique. And then also make sure that you're tracking this every single morning, right? You're taking this data. You're tracking the amount of steps that you're getting every day, which is very important, something that a lot of people don't track. You're tracking the food from the Eric Helms calculator. So if they gave you 3,000, you're eating that 3,000, right? You're tracking your steps. You're tracking your workouts. You're making sure if you're working out 4 days a week for an hour and a half at a time, you're tracking that, right? The activity that you're doing within those sessions. You're tracking all these things and you're seeing what happens to your weight over the time, right? Give it about 2 weeks because weight fluctuates. But what's happening to your weight? Is your weight staying the same? Is it going up? Is it going down? This is the best way to really get a true pulse on your maintenance. What I did when I was first losing weight, I think when I was about 195 and I was looking to get to like 180, I was tracking my stuff and it told me that my maintenance was like 2,800. No, it told me that my maintenance was like 30. I believe it told me my maintenance was 3,300 because I was eating 2,800 looking to lose a pound a week. As if you don't know, 500 calories a day, right, will give you about a pound a week. There's about 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So 7 times 500 would be 3,500, right? But I was losing like 2.5 pounds a week and I was like, what the heck? Right? But I was plugging it in. So I was like, yeah, I'm active. And active for them was like 12,000 steps. But I might be getting in 20,000 steps. But there's no category for extremely active. Or let's say there's a category for extremely active, but like there's no other category. So basically what I'm trying to say is go throw everybody in the same category. The extremely active person that's getting 30,000 steps is also in the category of the extremely active person that's getting 18,000 steps, but that's an extra 1,000 calories burned. An extra 750 calories burned just off of those 12,000 steps. So the best thing that you could do is track everything. And I know a lot of people that I talk to, they believe it's hard. Oh, like it's too much. I'm going to be real with you guys. Something that a lot of fitness coaches won't tell you. Keeping up with yourself is a second job. It is a second job. For somebody like me as a fitness coach, as somebody who's really into it, I might be willing to do more than others. That's fine. But even if you work a traditional 9 to 5, you're not a fitness coach, you're not looking to inspire people within health, you still keeping up with yourself is still something that you have to put an effort in, guys. It is. All right. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but when I tell you, hey, track your steps, track your sleep, track your workouts, track your food, like 80% of people, it's too much. It seems like it's too much. Well, I'm telling you what it takes to really build an exceptional physique. to really not only get in shape, but to really build a physique where people are like, damn, like you have a good physique. I can tell that you take care of yourself. If you want people to look at you and be like, damn, this person takes care of themselves, then guess what? You got to put in effort. You got to put in work. I'm one of the only people that will tell you this, bro. I don't promise shit that's not true. This shit takes work, guys. But back to the topic though. Track everything, because tracking everything gives you data, and data, once you get data, you can say, okay, they're telling me my maintenance is 3,500. I tracked my steps. I tracked my workouts. I tracked my food this week. I ate 3,500, and I don't want to say in a week. Let's say 2 weeks, because data can be kind of, right? Let's give it 2 weeks. That's a good amount of time. I've done all these things for 2 weeks. I've ate 3,500 every day. They're saying that this is my maintenance, but my weight is up 3 pounds. That might not be your maintenance, right? Yes, there's water fluctuation and stuff like that, and that's why I say give it 2 weeks. Tracking water is another thing, right? Tracking water, you track electrolytes. The more stuff that you track, the more data that you have, the more you could tell like what's throwing you off. But for sure, like the basics of what you're going to track is your steps. Your steps are very important. Your food and your gym activity level. Your steps is like your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, just your fidgeting and stuff like that. But you want to also track how many times you're going to the gym and what you're doing within those sessions. And you want to track your food. Those 3 things, as well as sleep. So let's say those 4 things are going to really be what like your weight fluctuates off of. But your weight will fluctuate off of like water and electrolytes and meal timing and other things too, right? When you track all the stuff, you could really tell what's happening with your weight, and you could really see the trend of, is my weight going up or down, without just taking the calculator's word for it. They'll throw everybody in the same category. And I'll work with people and they'll say, hey, the calculator said that my maintenance was 2,500. So I'm eating 2,000. I'm 500 calories below maintenance, but I'm not losing weight, right? I'm not losing a pound a week. And I look at what they have going on. They're not tracking all their food. They're not tracking their steps. Sometimes they even lied on the file, on the questionnaire, just to get more calories. Yeah. They said that they were extremely active when they're just active. They said they're moderately active when they're sedentary as shit. Like, this is stuff I'm seeing, guys, just to get more calories out. Right? But even if you were being 100% truthfully honest, it's still not completely accurate. It's not going to be, for 99% of us, it's not going to be on the dot. Okay, it says my maintenance is 3,250. That's my exact maintenance. No, it might be 3,400, might be 3,500, might be 3,000, it might be 2,950. And you might be thinking, well, 300 calories isn't a lot. But if I put you in a 500 calorie deficit, or if you put yourself in a 500 calorie deficit and you're 200 off, you're losing less than a half a pound of what you expected to lose. That's more than half of your deficit gone just off of poor calculations. I'm real nerdy with this stuff, but there's a reason for it. It's because this stuff is a little bit more complicated than some people make it seem. Oh, we'll just go online and just plug in your stuff. Well, yeah, you could do that, and it'll give you an accurate estimation, but it could throw you off. So tracking these things that I've mentioned in this video will give you the most accurate way to tell what your maintenance is. And you also have to know that when you change things, let's say you add 5K steps to your daily activity. Let's say you have more denser sessions, right? You're still working out 4 days a week for an hour at a time, but you're doing more sets, less rest periods within that hour that you're in the gym. You're getting more work done. Let's say you eat more protein. Let's say you eat absolutely no protein right now, and I give you a whole bunch of protein. Just off of the thermogenic effect of protein, you might burn a little bit more calories. Like, certain things might affect your BMR and also your TDE, your basal metabolic rate, which is the amount of calories that you burn at rest, and your TDE, your total daily energy expenditure, which something like having a more denser gym session would affect, right? If you usually do 15 sets within an hour or whatever, and you go up to 30 sets, you're going to be burning more calories. Now, what a lot of people will say is, well, the amount of calories that you might burn isn't going to be significant. That's true. Let's say you only burn an extra 150 calories. But when you start adding all these things up, they can equal 500, 700 calories. And if you're in a 500, 700 calorie deficit, that could be your whole deficit. If you're in a 500 calorie surplus, that could be your whole surplus. You get me? So the more that you track, the more data that you have, the better it's going to be for you to really get an estimation of what your maintenance is. And then from there, you could decide, hey, I want to lose some fat. Let me get right under it. Hey, I want to put on a little bit of size. Let me get right over it. But you want to be as accurate as possible. Something that I've had to really work on to get leaner, because I am somebody who used to be fat. I used to be 250. And I am also somebody who has a relatively good appetite, right? I mean, obviously, in order to get fat at 250, you have to be able to eat a lot. You know, I used to have these high fluctuations of food, and I'm also very active. So just in general, the more active you are, when you're just active all day, you're working out a lot, you have a good amount of muscle. I run a little bit, I sprint a little bit, I do a few things. There's days where like I'm eating 5,000-6,000 calories, right? Which isn't super above, like that's not, for me, that's not like a 3,000 calorie surplus, but it is a substantial surplus, right? And having days like that was kind of throwing off certain things I have going on. So one thing that I've really had to do to really get leaner and really focus on getting to a single digit body fat, which is what I'm doing right now, is focus on really honing in on being as close to maintenance as possible. Really figuring out what my maintenance is and just tying myself to my maintenance, right? You want to tie yourself to your maintenance. If you want to lose a little bit of body fat, get under it. If you want to put on a little bit of size, get over it. But we don't want to be having these crazy fluctuations. But in order to not have crazy fluctuations, you have to have a good pulse on what your maintenance is, which is why I want to make this video. Certain people ask me these questions because they understand that there's certain nuances that a lot of people don't speak about. Like I mentioned, you know, just going online and plugging in numbers isn't going to give you the exact number. Even if it is 250 or 300 off, it could throw you off depending on what your goals are. So I wanted to make this video. I hope it's not too confusing. Please put some questions down below if you need me to delve into any topic in more detail, because I am very passionate about health, fitness, and nutrition. And I'm pretty knowledgeable about this stuff too. If you have any more questions, because this is a question that I'm answering, somebody sent me this, right? If you have any more questions, my business email will be in the description, or you could DM me on Instagram, or you could comment it down below, right? Also, if you need help with your physique or with health, or if you want to speak to me for a strategy call, all that will be in the description, right? Custom training plans, custom nutrition programs, and also my full 16-week coaching program. And again, my strategy call, all that will be in the description below. And if you want to follow me in other social medias, that will also be in the description below as well. So there's a random branch. I appreciate you for watching this video, for tuning in. This is how to properly calculate your maintenance. Hope this wasn't too confusing. I do my best to say the details and like the different nuances in a very palatable way, because I know this stuff can get kind of tricky. But just to sum things up, you know, use the Eric Helms macro, the RIP macro calculator. Use that as your base. Track all the things I listed, you know, in best detail. Once you get more into it, you'll be able to track more, but track as much as you can, right? Certain things are non-negotiable, like your weight, your calories, your activity level, your steps, right? And see what happens to your weight over time. And that will give you a better pulse on what your true maintenance is, instead of just following a calculator blindly, right? Okay, so that's the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Peace.